options, assimilating our latest developments in science and technology.
What about a patient who isn't offered a clinical trial? Is it appropriate for that patient to ask their doctor whether there might be something available that would be appropriate for them?
I would strongly encourage patients and their families to be advocates for themselves. In fact, it would be a neat idea for them to check with their provider whether they are a candidate for a clinical trial at the time that they initiate treatment. Absolutely.
Doctor, the truth is there's been so many developments in medical science and in the way we treat serious diseases like cancer, and a lot of that comes from people participating in clinical trials. That's where these developments originate from, right?
I could not agree more. Absolutely. It sets the tone for advancements in healthcare.
Dr. George, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Find a doctor who's right for you by visiting Freightert.com.
Hey all of you jokesters, this is Max and we're back with another joke of the week. What do lawyers wear to the courtroom? Lawsuits! Ha ha! I cracked myself up. Back to Steve Scaffidi Show.
Oh, young Max. He's actually going to do...
Big pimpin', baby.
Get your mics on.
Are we in reruns of Max? Wasn't that last week?
He's got a syndication deal now.
It's syndicated already.
I talked to Max the other day. He goes, Papa, I'm really busy. He's got soccer. He's got baseball. I'm very, very, very busy. So I'm going to announce today, I'm going to be at the fair as I usually am, broadcasting live from the Fishbowl. He is going to do a Max's Best of the Fair segment.
Nice.
That we're going to run through the fair.
Nice.
I can't wait to see corn on the cob. Will probably the big slide he loves. Just Max's look at the fair, and then we'll bring him on live at the end.
And there'll be a food review as part of that?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
He's very picky about his food, though.
Yeah,
I know he likes the corn on the cob.
Papa, I probably need another scoop of ice cream to really get to the bottom of this.
I can tell you, the Maxter loves the ice cream. All right, we got to get to news here. We got lots more to talk about with our guests, Bill McCosh and Joseph Pecky, on our regular Friday feature from our breaking news center. You know her, Dila.
Hello. Thank you, Steve. Former Governor Scott Walker is urging Donald Trump to not skip the first GOP presidential debate scheduled to be held in Milwaukee in August. Walker tells the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Trump should not blow off Wisconsin. Walker says Hillary Clinton made that mistake in 2016, costing her the election. The New York Times says Trump is likely to skip at least one of the first two debates. Walker leads Young America's Foundation, which is partnering with Fox News in the Milwaukee debate. Milwaukee mayor is pushing for changes to the state GOP's shared revenue plan. The measure includes stipulations for Milwaukee, including a requirement for voters to pass a referendum in order to increase the city's sales tax. The mayor wants city leadership to make that determination. The mayor also wants to eliminate any proposed changes to the Fire and Police Commission. Governor Evers has said he will veto the shared revenue measure in its current form. Children and teens are spending much less time socializing in person and more time on social media. Author of iGen and Generations, Dr. Jean Twenge tells WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi that technology has contributed to increased depression rates in adolescents. She says parents need to have honest conversations with their kids about limiting social media in particular. Twenge says legislation that enforces age restrictions for social media use and adds parental permissions could also help. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is up 449 to 33,577. The NASDAQ is up 193 to 12,160. And the S&P is up 59 to 4,120. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. We are in the clear. Everything is moving along pretty well, and volume is pretty typical for a Friday morning. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast today, slight chance of showers mainly to the north, otherwise partly cloudy, a high of 67 at the lakefront, 74 inland. Tonight, slight chance of showers, mostly cloudy though, a low of 50. Tomorrow, a chance for morning showers, then mostly cloudy, a high of 62 at the lake, 68 inland. For Sunday, chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy, a high of 70 at the lake, 76 inland. About the same thing is true for Monday, showers and storms likely, mostly cloudy, a high of 70 at the lake, 76 inland. Tuesday, chance for morning showers, then becoming sunny, a high of 65 at the lake, 70 inland. Right now in Appleton, it's 52. Mukwonago, it's 63. And in Milwaukee, it's 59 degrees. I'm Debbie Lazaga, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times 9:33.
With inflation affecting so many families, the super affordable Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford is better than ever. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Mine Shaft restaurant. It's been locally family-owned for over 46 years. It's a Fish Fry Friday. The all-you-can-eat codfish fry is just $9.99. Most fish fries at other restaurants, $16 or so, maybe more. At $9.99, this is the best fish fry value anywhere. The Mine Shaft desserts are all buy one, get one free. That chocolate cake is the best. Get some ice cream with it. The Saturday prime rib dinner is under $25. The Sunday brunch is all you can eat and only $14.99. And the breakfast, they're huge, $8.99 or less. It's also big value. The super affordable Mine Shaft restaurant right there on beautiful Main Street in downtown Hartford, or in Oshkosh, easy to get to right off the interstate. Both locations, tons of seating. Tons of close parking. Reserve your table for the $9.99 fish fry today. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
We got to turn that feed on during the break. There's some wisdom going on, and it's all clean. There's no cuss words or anything.
It's not in my contract.
Maybe a couple.
All right, Bill. Maybe a couple. Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist. Joseph Pecky, Democratic strategist. Ron DeSantis coming to Wisconsin tomorrow.
Dang right.
And you're going.
I'll be there.
All right. What do you expect to hear from Mr. DeSantis?
Well, I expect
Governor DeSantis.
I expect him to talk about his record in Florida. As I've said on the show a couple times, including last week, I don't think he's had the greatest couple of months on the campaign trail, but he's not officially on the campaign trail, but he has been racking up the points and the wins in the state of Florida as governor. And I think that's what he's going to talk about tomorrow night. I'm anxious that he's coming into Trump country. It doesn't get any redder or Trumpier than north of Highway 29 here in the state of Wisconsin. He's going to Marathon County at a sold-out event in Rothschild.
Who's hosting the event, you know?
Marathon County Republican Party.
Okay.
He is speaking at their Lincoln Day, and it is beyond sold out. So, I think people are looking to hear what he's done in Florida, why he's the alternative to Trump. Is he really for real? Can this guy win?
Are Wisconsin Republicans, those who love Trump, ready to hear what Ron DeSantis has to tell them?
Nope. No, there's going to be a protest outside, apparently, by some Trumpers. We'll see. There are certain voters who are locked into Donald Trump, and, I'm not going to speak ill of them. It's their decision to make, but I want to win. And I think it's important that we make sure that we got a candidate that can ultimately win the general election. The primary really doesn't matter that much. Who's going to win the general election or who can win the general election. And I think that's what people are going tomorrow night to hear.
And you're a numbers guy. Ron DeSantis' numbers state-wise are much better than his national poll numbers.
Yeah,
he can win states.
He's either tied or winning all of the key swing states, and Trump is not. And so while there are these polls, including primary polls, that show Trump up somewhere between 30 and 35% with Republican primary voters, I would disregard those and focus on states where, whether it's Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, maybe North Carolina, Michigan, Pennsylvania, states that have the ability to go the other direction. DeSantis is in the game or leading in those states.
As the Democrat, who do Dems want to go against, Trump or DeSantis or somebody else?
Well, I'm not going to pretend to speak for Democrats here. I think it is
That's
bad.
exactly why you're here, Jim.
No, but what I mean...
Did you read the job description?
Was that in my contract? Listen, I think there are surely Democrats out there who look and say Donald Trump is easier to beat. And I think that's probably true, but I think that is deeply irresponsible. This is a deeply divided country, and anyone who gets a major party nomination can be president of the United States. Some things are more important than politics. One of them is Mr. Trump should never be anywhere near a position of public trust ever again. He has forfeit that, in my view, and he shouldn't be the nominee, but he's going to be. And that's the thing. You can sing your hosannas about Ron DeSantis. If he doesn't go and take the nomination for Mr. Trump, he ain't getting it. He's got to take a shot at him.
You and I actually agree on that. He's going to have to go get it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like staying out of the fray, right, Ron DeSantis?
He's been waiting for the legislative session to end in Florida, which I believe is the end of next week, and then the announcement will come shortly thereafter. And honestly, there are people like me who think he waited a little bit too long. He let Trump take the game to him for the last 2 months and didn't really have the greatest responses.
Now who's putting lipstick on a pig?
But now, now it's game on. And we'll see if he's got the fight, the fire in the belly, and he's going to have to go take it from Trump because Trump is in the lead. No question about that.
This is for both you guys. Is it fair to say that Republicans, this is what the Democrats are always saying, the Republicans want to cut veterans' health care. Is that fair? Because there's not any direct language that says that.
They said 22% cuts across the board, and they did not include a carve-out for the VA.
I think
if you say we're not touching Social Security and we're not touching Medicare, but we're going to balance the budget within the next 10 years, what that means is the rest of the budget, and they're not going to touch defense. So you've taken the three biggest things off the table. That means in order to meet their stated goal, everything else would need a huge reduction.
So you're saying that, but Republicans
it doesn't say that.
Yeah,
in the bill.
They're not saying that. So they are declaratively saying
we're
not going to do that.
So now they're going to take something else off the table, but still try to convince you they're going to balance the budget in 10 years without touching 4 enormous pots of money? No, they can't do it. The math doesn't math.
Your party won't touch those 4 pots of money, at least 2 of them, right?
We won't
On
touch
the
Social Security or
entitlements.
Medicare?
Yeah.
No. But what we want to do is ask the wealthiest Americans to pay a few more pennies on the dollar.
And what does that generate? How much?
On that $170th million, maybe you still pay some Social Security tax.
Joe, that's a talking point.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't generate enough money. The only way you're going to get to whatever nut you're trying to crack here is if everybody contributes to the economy and to our tax system. Everybody.
Bernie Sanders, one of
as
your
a
standard
result,
bears.
We shouldn't raise taxes on anybody. We should just cut spending. We should break promises we've made to veterans, to seniors. We should change the game.
My take, and probably Bill's as well, is we spend too much money.
We do.
We waste money. There's incredible fraud built into the system. Why don't we spend our time and energy going after the fraud?
Says the guys whose party wants to cut inspectors generals and the IRS and the tools that are actually there to root out fraud, waste, and abuse.
Efficiency.
I don't disagree that there are efficiencies to be found and we could spend less money, but some of the things we have to do to spend less money require investment.
Well, let's start with 87,000 IRS agents. We can probably get rid of them.
No, we can't. Why do you want people to have an easier time cheating on their taxes?
They're not full. I mean, and it'll take 10 years to fill that many positions, maybe longer.
You wouldn't know that from watching Fox News. If you think they were coming to your house tomorrow.
They might be.
No, they're not.
I don't think it's a conservative
With guns.
position or
They're going to
not.
have guns, too.
I don't think it's a conservative position or not, but we should simplify the tax code so we don't need all these agents.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's way too complex. I was
Steve's
talking
just
about
saying
that.
that.
Some in your
Steve's
party
just saying
want
that 'cause he doesn't
confiscation.
take his,
Bernie
his
Sanders
write-offs.
this week said if you have more than $1 billion, all the rest should go to the government, not some of the rest.
No,
that's Bernie.
That's establishing a position to work from. But I think that's what Robin Voss did. Right? To take it all the way back to the start of the hour. Listen, taxes are going to have to go up. The bill comes due. Spending's going to have to come down. The bill comes due.
It's on record. Joe Zepecki supports a tax increase for all Americans. That
No, for the wealthiest Americans.
The wealthiest Americans, which won't generate enough money to do anything.
Right.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I got the producer
So,
support.
yep, so you don't want to raise taxes on anybody?
No, I don't. I want to spend less money.
What do you want to cut out of the Pentagon?
You want me to spend the next 20 minutes talking about what
Sure.
I want to cut? Well, I'll write some stuff down.
Okay.
All right.
We'll get back to you. We'll circle back.
Hey, by the way, folks, if you love Joe Zepecki, he's going to be hosting my show Monday and
More
Tuesday
coming at you.
next week.
More coming at you.
So fire up that
Here we
text
go.
line because you are going to get some texts, my friend. All right, quick break with Bill and Joe after this.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
It will be an evening of nonstop laughter with the Latin Kings of Comedy, featuring Paul Rodriguez.
The only good thing about getting old is that now I can sit and watch television, and I know what all those pharmaceuticals are for.
For one night only, Friday, May 5th, 8 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
If you're going to get married, guys, go home and see her mother. Get a good look at the future. And you ladies go see his father. Find out where that belt is going to be.
Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. It's the Latin Kings of Comedy, featuring Paul Rodriguez. Friday, May 5th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Must be 21 to attend show.
If you were offered a guaranteed cash prize, would you take the offer or would you risk it to possibly win more? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells Take It or Leave It, where on May 27th, you could be chosen to play the Take It or Leave It game, where you could be one of several participants to have the opportunity to pick a case containing up to $100,000 in cash. It's the Take It or Leave It game, May 27th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more details.
Clean dishes, clean planet. Save $200 in eligible gift card rebates on eligible Becco dishwashers. Visit becco.com/US-EN for more details.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Hey, all of you jokesters, this is Max, and we're back with another joke of the week. What do lawyers wear to the courtroom? Lawsuits. Ha ha! I cracked myself up. Back to Steve Scaffidi Show.
Must be some sort of contractual obligation with young Max. Twice in a half hour. My goodness. Gotta mix that up a bit. All right, gentlemen, I want to get your quick reaction to this. It wasn't on our list, but Coach Mike Budenholzer got fired. Coach Bud got fired last night by the Bucks. He's owed $60 million, so, I mean, I wouldn't feel too bad for him. But, I mean, it was a tough time. He lost his brother during the series with the Heats. The team has underperformed since they won the championship. Instant reaction.
Thank you, Coach Bud. I think we should feel nothing but gratitude. It doesn't mean it wasn't a time for a change to be made, but he brought a championship to the city. We should always hold him in high esteem. Let's name a street after him. Right? If you do that in Green Bay, if you're a coach of a championship team,
that's true.
You get a street. I don't think it'll be too long before we see Mike Budenholzer away, and I think that's great.
It'll be your street in Shorewood. Why don't you do it?
Okay.
So I predicted this on the show last Friday that this was likely to happen. I did not know that his brother had been killed in a car accident, and I feel deeply sad about that. So I want to apologize to Coach Bud, but I agree with Joe. Thank you, Coach Bud. What you did for the city is generational in nature, and we will always remember you fondly. His winning percentage here was like 700 or something crazy like that. He's going to land on his feet, no question about it. So thank you.
One of the interesting things is I think I saw on a graphic this morning before the show that 3 of the last 4 winning NBA coaches that won
for jobs
are gone. I think Steve Kerr is the only guy left.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's an unforgiving business.
Yeah. We are an impatient group of fans, aren't we?
Right.
It's just there's so much pressure on these people.
Well, especially in basketball. I mean, they want to win. And
Win
if you
now.
got a roster like the Bucks do, the expectation was another championship, right? And you go out in the first round. By the way, that happened in hockey, too. The Boston Bruins set a NHL record after 120 years. They had the best regular season in history, and they got knocked out in the first round.
Happens more in hockey, though, when those 8 seeds upset the
Green Bay
number one
Packers
seed.
twice in the last 5 years were number one seed and threw that away, as we all painfully remember.
Yeah. And we're
Sitting
there to
there
watch.
watching that in Lambeau
there to
Field.
watch.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this before I get to the break, but the Supreme Court is being challenged by ethics considerations. I don't want to say it's just Clarence Thomas, because there's other questions on the other side that have to do with book deals that they didn't necessarily recuse themselves from cases involving their publishers. So there's a bit of both sidesism here. But let me just say this, as a conservative, as a Republican, what Clarence Thomas is doing, I think, challenges the Supreme Court in ways that I don't even think Chief Justice Roberts is going to like.
I think there needs to be more transparency. I was unaware, and I'm a fairly plugged-in individual, that there were so few limitations on what Supreme Court justices could accept legally. And no one's claiming anything was done illegally, but the perception is bad. I think they need to strengthen their ethics code, and I think it needs to be transparent for everybody.
The last U.S. Supreme Court justice to resign for cause was Abe Fortas. I think it was a couple of $100,000. This looks
that's
way
the that's
worse
Nixon
than
era.
that.
Yeah, it wasn't a ton of money. Yeah.
Right. And so, yes, it is time for ethics reform to come to the nation's highest court. It's overdue.
Yeah.
And it starts with disclosure, 100%.
Do you think they will do it internally versus, because I think their concern is it becomes hyper partisan and political if they move it outside the arena of the Supreme Court?
I think that's where ultimately Chief Justice Roberts will get, because he has in the past tried to keep politics away from the court. That's impossible, right? He wasn't helped by people like Mitch McConnell in the last 10 years or so. He's going to have to do it, or it's going to be done for them, and I don't think he wants that.
Well, and Senate Democrats have tried to get involved in this, and all 9 Supreme Court justices unanimously, and it's a 6-3 conservative majority, have said, mind your own business. So that brings it back to Roberts. He needs to fix this, because it's a significant perception problem for all of them.
There will be a check or a balance if they don't take care of it.
That's right.
Quick.
It always is in politics.
Well, given the gravity of some of the things we've been talking about on this show and in our country over the last few years, I mean, they're going to be dealing with some pretty significant issues, and we want our court to be kept out of that political arena as much as possible. I know it's not perfect. Nothing is absolute. But, boy, you just don't want that hanging over it.
No, and in fact, I think it's sort of the inverse maybe, which is like the more political or politicized the courts have become, and we just, whether or not we want it to happen, it's what's happened. The courts have become more politicized.
At all levels.
It actually becomes more important for there to be that type of transparency and insight so that there is as much trust remaining as is possible.
9:51 on WTMJ. We'll wrap it up with the grab bag. Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist Joe Zepecki. Democratic side of the aisle. We'll do that after this on WTMJ.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, yeah, no, I mean it, yeah, no, I mean it, yeah, no, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, that's, yeah, no, I mean it, yeah.
There are heroes among us who run toward danger rather than away from it. We call them first responders. This is Steve Scaffidi. WTMJ is partnering with Educators Credit Union to honor police officers, firefighters, and countless others who work every day to protect our families and loved ones. Do you have a first responder you would like to nominate? Go to WTMJ.com, click on the Salute to Service banner, and share your story. We'll bring you the incredible stories during Salute to Service month in May.
Steve Scaffidi's Salute to Service with Educators Credit Union. Details now at WTMJ.com.
Oh, hello there.
Hi, I'm Sandy Max. That's London calling and Liverpool. Come with me on a special getaway called The Beatles and More, an England adventure. From Big Ben to the Beatles' hometown, we'll visit London landmarks and tour Liverpool. Then explore England from Windsor to Stonehenge and more. Our personal travel expert, Steve Bertrand, makes our traveling easy by taking care of every aspect of our arrangements. Get more information. Email me, sandy@WTMJ.com, or call 847-606-6065.
Lane's Farm and Fleet is your one-stop shop for all your seasonal supplies. Like Thoroughbred welding gas and cylinders, now 10% off. Milwaukee 1/4-inch and 3/8-inch drive 106-piece tool set with pack out, on sale $249.99. And pick up a Performance Tool 26-piece screwdriver set. Comes with color-coded handles and storage rack, just $24.99.
Find value at Green's Farm and Fleet.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com. Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show.
Last few moments with Bill and Joe on this Friday. Great Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We'll do some fun stuff. I'm going to do my Steve of the World today on golf. I've got some thoughts about golf.
Not Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre being at the door?
No. See, where this is, I'm a listener. I know you're and a giver, so you asked for this kind of music. We played it for you.
Appreciate
you
that.
are a giver. That's always been said about you.
leave these tracks queued up for Monday, Brandon. We're going to have some fun.
You're a river to your people.
Take that audio and email it to my wife, Kathy, please, immediately. She would argue the opposite. But, all right, who wants to start? Grab bag. Bill.
I'll go first. Okay, so for anyone born in the 60s or earlier, from the state of Wisconsin, particularly if you come from northern Wisconsin, Superior, where I'm from, you cannot forget the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
This week, Gordon Lightfoot passed away. He had a series of incredible ballads. Probably the most notable of all of those was The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. So every time I hear that song, it brings me back to my childhood. I was 10 years old when this happened. That ship loaded in Superior, Wisconsin before it left, fully loaded for Cleveland, as the song says. So tip of the cap to Gordon Lightfoot. Last one, Joe Pavelski, Wisconsinite, 38 years old, came back from a deep concussion, scored 4 goals the other night for the Dallas Stars. He's the oldest player in NHL history to score 4 goals in a playoff game. He's my partner with the Janesville Jets. Go Pavs, go.
Really?
That part I didn't know. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not a hockey guy, and even I heard about the 4 goals.
Yeah.
Us ski guys. So your last name ends with an I. You're special.
He scored last night, too. He's got 5 in the series already.
Real quick on the Edmund Fitzgerald, I used to hunt with a guy, Gus, who served on the Edmund Fitzgerald a few years before it went down.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy guy. He said when he was on that ship, it made noises that always sounded like it was good. It was huge ship.
Yeah.
And still sitting at the bottom of Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Man, crazy. All right, what do you got?
I got more Trump stuff. There's never enough time to get to all the news. On the legal front, things continue to look bad for the former president. We see additional Proud Boys who were involved in January 6th, convicted of seditious conspiracy this week. That's a big deal. You don't see that charge much. I say they're getting towards the end of the actual January 6th attackers. And we're seeing reports that Jack Smith, the special counsel, was sitting in on the testimony provided by former Vice President Mike Pence. Mr. Trump has waived his right to take the stand in the civil case with E. Jean Carroll. This drumbeat is going to continue every single week, and I think in the next month or so, you're going to see another big shoe fall.
Apparently has somebody inside Mar-a-Lago that...
Yep, confidential informant.
Yeah.
Ooh. People are flipping. Again, I know you don't want to disrespect the Republican voters who are all in on Trump, but and I don't want to disrespect them either. I'm just telling you, folks, this is not the way. This is not the guy. He's not going to get you there.
It's another reason he's probably unelectable,
yes.
right? And I want to win.
Me too. All right. Guys, thanks. Great. This is one of our best segments ever.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's put this. We could probably repeat this next week, and it would still sound fresh.
Well, you do it for Max. Why not for us?
But we're in reruns. But here, yeah, Brand is. I think he was sleeping. Was he sleeping? So here's the
He gets
deal.
here pretty early.
I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. next week. Joe's going to fill in a couple days. Tracy John's going to fill in a couple days. I actually scheduled to come back so I could do Friday's show with you guys.
How about that? You want to call in Monday or Tuesday and offer an update from the road?
No. I don't. All you, buddy. Don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up.
He is Joseph Pecky, Bill McCutcheon, and thanks to both of you. Have a great weekend. We'll be back after the news, which is next on WTMJ.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. August 17th at the Patched Theater. Starring the Turtles, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Grassroots, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills.
Give me a head with hair.
Reserve seats on sale Friday, 10 a.m. at patchtheatergroup.com. The Happy Together Tour.
If you want a fiduciary guiding your financial plan that will treat your assets as if they were their own, go to financialstrategiesinc.com.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
The highly successful Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford is hiring an experienced bar manager with income upwards of $60,000 a year with tips and always busy. Nights, weekends, and holidays, but the schedule has flexibility. Tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week.
Social Security benefits denied? Contact Tayback for the payback. Go to taybackattorneys.com.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
.01, it's going to warm up today with highs inland in the 70s. Could see a little bit of rain to the north. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstad. Is it over? The coronavirus pandemic is downgraded.
The World Health Organization says that COVID-19 no longer qualifies as a global emergency. The pandemic led to once unthinkable lockdowns and isolation, upended economies worldwide, and killed at least 7 million people. The WHO says the pandemic has not come to an end, despite the emergency phase being over.
CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula, WHO says the thousands of people, though, are still dying from the virus every week. Here at home, the battle over shared revenue across the state of Wisconsin getting a bit more complicated.
Governor Tony Evers throwing a wrench into Assembly Republicans' plans, saying he'll veto their plan for updating shared revenue in the state. Evers wanting less restrictions on local government, a sentiment echoed by Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
I ask that you leave those types of issues in the hands of Milwaukee and not Madison.
Johnson testifying before the Committee on Local Government Thursday. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley warning of dire consequences if something isn't passed.
That puts Milwaukee County in a very weird position. And at the end of the day, it would force us to make drastic cuts.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Expect to hear from the Assembly Speaker at some point today. He is supposed to appear before the Milwaukee Press Club this afternoon. News about your money. The April jobs report is out, beating expectations. The unemployment rate ticking down despite recent banking turmoil and the Fed's efforts to combat inflation. CBS correspondent Sarah Ewell-Weiss.
The U.S. economy added 253,000 jobs last month, roughly 70,000 more than expected. The unemployment rate ticked down to 3.4%, matching a historic low set in 1953. The labor force participation rate remained unchanged.
Stocks are all up in midday trading. A World War II bomber pilot from Grafton will finally be laid to rest this weekend. 70 years after he was shot down in Europe.
He's 26 years old, and to make that decision to join the Army Air Corps and put his life on the line makes him a hero.
Alan Buchholz is with the Ozaukee County Historical Society. Lieutenant Roy Harms and his B-24 bomber were shot down in 1943. His remains were recovered by Romanians and identified just last year. On Saturday, he'll make his last trip home and be laid to rest in Grafton.
We're encouraging people to come out and line North Street between 12th and 3rd. That procession will step off at 11:15.
Lieutenant Harms will be buried with full military honors. John Mercure, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:03.
Kessler's is America's largest employee-owned diamond store.
It's the diamond store where the owners think like you do.
As shoppers, we want better prices and more choices.
That's why we give you better prices and more choices.
We don't try to choose for you. We let you choose.
You can choose a diamond from a diamond mine.
A diamond as old as the earth itself.
You can choose a created diamond from a plasma chamber.
A diamond as new and fresh and sparkling as springtime.
And now you can choose a flickering firelight diamond.
Flickering firelight diamonds sparkle with a rich and regal golden glow.
At Kessler's, you choose from 3 different kinds of diamonds.
3 different kinds of diamonds.
Earth diamonds from diamond mines.
Created diamonds from plasma chambers.
And flickering firelight diamonds with a rich, regal golden glow.
We like to have choices, so we give you choices.
Kessler's is the diamond store where the owners think like you do.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Wisconsin weather can put a damper on things, but don't let it ruin your outdoor plans. Sister Bay Furniture is furniture built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Built from premium, sustainable materials, Sister Bay Furniture endures the grueling conditions of Wisconsin weather. That's commercial-grade quality for your outdoor space. Stop by their showroom today, located out in Sussex on Executive Drive, or visit their website today at sisterbayfurniture.com. Sister Bay Furniture, built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin.
Inflation isn't going away anytime soon. As the cost of everything from food to vacations to your electric bill rises, you may wonder if your retirement plans are still on track. Annex Wealth Management can help. It starts at annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button. From there, our in-house planning team will create your wealth metric, a snapshot of where you are and where you're headed. Wealth Metric will help you understand the impact inflation may have on your plans. Get started today. Visit annexwealth.com.
Make it 4 losses in a row for Milwaukee as the Colorado Rockies used a 5-run 8th inning to earn a 9-6 come-from-behind victory to sweep the Brewers on Thursday afternoon. Milwaukee now heads to San Francisco for a weekend series with the Giants beginning tonight. That first pitch is set for 9:15. Corbin Burns is slated to get the start. The Milwaukee Bucks will be looking for a new voice as they have fired head coach Mike Budenholzer following the team's early playoff exit this season. Coach Bud led Milwaukee to its first championship in 50 years in 2021, while winning nearly 70% of their games during his 5-year tenure. And after selecting 13 new faces last week in the NFL draft, the Packers rookies will descend in Green Bay today and Saturday for Packers rookie minicamp. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Checking the roads now with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. 94 eastbound, Highway 16 through the zoo and into downtown. You got no real issue getting in. It's about a 18-minute ride. 4145 south, no problems there. Highway Q to the zoo, that's on time as well. Heads up 43 northbound north of the Marquette, right around North Avenue. There's a crash there, so they got the right lane blocked. Couple of squads there at the lights flashing, the cones up as well, so you're getting by there just fine. Still got plenty of lanes open, but the right lane there in the shoulder there right at North Avenue is shut down heading north on 43. Southbound, no problem, Brown Deer Road into downtown. Finally, 94 northbound from Layton into the city. So far, so good. That should be an 8-minute ride into downtown.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods. The all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center, is now open in New Berlin.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, slight chance for rain, mainly to the north. Otherwise, partly cloudy today and a high of 74 inland. For tonight, slight chance for showers, cloudy, a low of 50. Saturday, chance for some rain in the morning, otherwise cloudy and a high of 68. Sunday, chance for storms, cloudy, a high of 76. Monday, showers and storms likely, a high of 76. Tuesday, more chances for rain, becoming sunny later on in the day, Tuesday, and a high of 70. Right now, in Madison, it's 66. Green Bay is About 53, Waukesha 65, Milwaukee 65. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Breaking down the biggest stories, talking about what really matters, and bringing you the biggest forum to let your voice be heard. Now, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, here's Steve Scaffidi.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome, 10 o'clock hour, Friday edition. Glad you are on board. We don't all have to agree. That's part of the fun of life. Civil, honest, decent disagreement is way more powerful than the alternative. All right, so the big breaking sports story yesterday, and I'm not a sports show, but I'm fascinated by this development, is the coach of the Bucks, 5 seasons, one of them 2 years ago, NBA championship, Mike Budenholzer, Coach Bud, fired. Not unique. I think 3 out of the last 4 championship teams have fired their coach, which either shows the impatience of owners or sports fans or intense scrutiny from the media. But I guess the way I want to approach this, and I welcome your calls as well, and producer Brandon's going to join us on the conversation, 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line, is from a human being perspective. Was this fair? Is this fair to Coach Bud? His brother passed, killed in a tragic car accident during the series with the Heat. Timing fair? Decision fair? I'm curious what you think. I want to hear what Brandon has to say. Illustrious, big-time sports guy, producer of my show. Brandon Snide joins us. What's your take on Coach?
It's tough. It's very, very tough. But I think if you're a Bucks fan, if you know the NBA, if you know the Bucks, this was probably coming. This was one of those things where 2019 they had a meltdown. 2020 they had a little bit of a meltdown. The bubble that year was kind of weird. 2021 there was some questions going into that season. They turned it around, obviously winning the championship. And, of course, you look at this year, and how was this year not a letdown as well?
Timing? Too soon after the...
Yes, I think it was a little bit of, probably a little bit of both, right? Like, I think the Bucks want to get ahead of the game, right? There's going to be probably a few coaching vacancies that do open up, and if you look at the teams throughout the NBA, the Bucks are probably the most attractive team. Obviously, when you have a guy like Giannis, I think the Bucks probably approached Mike Budenholzer, and I know it says they fired him, but it might have been a mutual thing. Like Coach Bud might have been like, hey, we won the championship, did some great things here, set records, won MVPs, created a lot of great memories, did a lot of good things, and you probably hit your peak, right? And I think Coach Bud obviously is going through a personal situation, which none of us can really imagine until we're in that position where he just might take a couple years, maybe not coach again. I mean, he's won a championship. He's a successful coach.
Yeah, he's certainly going to get a job if he wants one.
He's getting older in age too. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to coach the rest of your life? I think maybe he's looking at life a little bit different these days.
So the take on some of the national sports shows that I was sampling this morning, radio and TV, was that there's a looming storm within the Bucks organization. We have a new ownership piece.
Yeah.
We have contracts, I think, for Middleton, Lopez, certainly. Giannis has got about 3 years left on his, what do they call it, Supermax deal?
So, yeah, he can sign the extension this summer if he wants.
So how much of this is Giannis related? How much is this related to this changeover? Perhaps one of the principal owners has a lot to say about coaching. What do you think?
Well, Wes Edens is the governor. He's going to be the governor. I believe it's the next 3 years. So I don't think from an owner perspective anything's going to change for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that the Giannis agenda, direction, whatever you want to, avenue that people are approaching, it's the easy point to talk about for the Milwaukee Bucks. You remember this, Steve. I know you remember. Bucks fans remember, is for years leading up to Giannis before he signed that Supermax, what team is he going to go to? All the photoshops of him in Miami's jerseys and Laker jerseys, like Giannis just went on national TV at the end of March and said, I'm here to stay. In so many words, that's exactly what he said. Giannis isn't going to leave. I don't have any fears of Giannis leaving. The national media is looking at this as well. Why did Mark Lazary sell his share? He sold it because the revenue's going, the tax is going up. Mm-hmm. And you get an evaluation of $3.2 billion.
He was a sports guy second. He's a businessman first.
Batalla de Puebla, the battle in Puebla of 1862.
We have some crazy audio.
And that's what we got going on right here.
Let's do this. We'll take a break and figure out where that audio is coming from after this.
And while you're out celebrating with family.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
This week on WTMJ.
The representative for the Assembly District number 4, David Stefan.
Social media companies have exempted themselves from all responsibility, saying this, you can't hold us accountable. I want to change that.
The big names.
Craig Counsell.
Play Giannis's interview. I think that he summed it up so well.
The stories you're talking about.
And I've heard this from other families as well. They're saying, we'll work, and somewhere there's no connective fiber there that's getting the kids who want to work actually getting a job.
News Radio WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I've told you about it. Snoring issues, tossing and turning. Nobody wants that. You don't have to put up with it. You can do something about it. I did. I went to Advent, had a great conversation, one of the great facilities, talked to 2 of their docs on the first visit, and they put me at ease. Now, everybody's different. We all have different scenarios, different situations with our breathing and our sleeping, but they can work through that, and they will put you at ease. We even did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problem had to do with my sinuses, nasal passages in my breathing triangle. Bottom line, my wife and I are back to sleeping through the whole night. Every night, just about, I sleep through the whole night, solid. For anybody that's lived through sleeping problems, that's a dream scenario. That can be you. If you want to find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
If you're a veteran, on active duty, reserve, or a military spouse, this is your wake-up call. It's time for basic training to be an entrepreneur. If you've ever wanted to own your own business, the Veterans Business Outreach Center is here for you. Get started today by texting the word VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The Veterans Business Outreach Center helps veterans of all eras. Just text VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The VBOC is an official program of the Small Business Administration and hosted by the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation.
Need a new bank for your small business? How about an old one? Now through June 30th, you can earn up to a $500 cash bonus when you open a free or basic business checking account with Old National. So think big when it comes to your small business and choose a bank where relationships and results matter. Visit a local branch or apply at oldnational.com/success today. Complete qualifying activities within 60 days of account opening. $50 minimum initial deposit required. Account must remain open 120 days. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
All right, I think we've captured our audio invader, wherever that was coming from. So we're talking about Coach Bud, fired after 5 seasons as head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. So a lot of texters are making it about Giannis, and producer Brandon's joining the conversation as well. One of the texters, I like Coach Bud, but his long winning streak was commendable. Giannis needs a sports psychiatrist.
Why?
I think this comes from his comments about failure, because I've seen, even when I was barely talking about the Bucks, that creep into the text line.
And I get that, and I know that's like a big thing because there's failure in sports. You fired your coach, you lost in the first round. Remember who's talking, though. Remember who's saying those words. Remember his story. And if you don't know his story, Giannis, that is, go ahead and watch the movie. It's a great movie on the Disney app, Disney Plus. Read his book, read his story. There is no failure for him. He came from nothing. He lost in the first round. It sucked. He got hurt in game 1. His team didn't play very well. They didn't make adjustments. The Miami Heat played really, really well, and they're still playing really, really well. Sometimes you aren't the better team.
So looking at the reality, we have Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Drew Holiday is kind of the core, and there's some other great support players, obviously Bobby Portis and others. How much of this team, Brandon, do you think is going to be around next year?
I think you're going to see a much different Bucks team. Chris Middleton reportedly wants max money. I don't think max money meaning $20, $30, $35 million. At 33 years old,
I don't see that
bad
happening.
knees. I don't think you're going to see Chris Middleton. Brook Lopez is the big one for me, where I would not be shocked if he wasn't here, and I would not be shocked if he was here. I know it's kind of like a generic answer, but he's going to be 35 years old. How much longer does he have, gas he have left in the tank? Back surgery that he had 2 years ago, that proved to be successful for him. He had his best year, I think, as a pro. this season. So I would say if I had to pick one of the two, it's going to be Brook Lopez would be back ahead of Chris Middleton, just because the Bucks aren't going to be able to afford that contract. Remember, they got Drew Holiday on a max contract as well. So you got Drew, you got Giannis. What do you do with Chris Middleton?
Yeah, you get old really quick. And Giannis is, what is he, 29?
Yep, and I think the other direction, too, for this team will be who the head coach is coming in, right? So if it's a guy that's an offensive guy, maybe he wants more, younger, faster, better shooting pieces around Giannis. Maybe it's a defensive-minded coach where he's good with what the roster looks like. And again, it's going to matter. It's going to depend on what these guys demand as free agents and money.
Do we know who's on the list, the short list or long list for head coaches that are available for the Bucks?
So Charles Lee's a name. If you're a Bucks fan, you probably know who that is. He's an assistant right now. He interviewed with multiple teams. He interviewed with Detroit. He had a second interview with Detroit prior to the regular season ending. So he's a name that would be on probably the short list. Nick Nurse is a hot name that's going around Twitter and Facebook because he was let go by the Toronto Raptors. And if you're a Bucks fan and his name sounds familiar, it's because he was the head coach when the Toronto Raptors beat the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then another name, Frank Vogel, who won the championship with the Lakers the bubble year. He was let go as well 2 years after winning the title there in Los Angeles, where Darvin Ham went from Milwaukee. So he's a name to look out, but I think it's very, very early. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported last night that the Bucks are in zero rush. And he also dropped a little nugget that isn't really being talked about enough, was that he mentioned the Bucks could go and get a coach that's currently under contract.
How's that work?
You could do a buyout. You could do a trade. So that is interesting. I don't know what, there's nobody better in the inside information than Adrian Wojnarowski when it comes to the NBA. So who do the Bucks have their eye on? I have no idea. But I think when you fired Coach Bud, you better have a plan. Let's stay.
And they may have a plan.
And they probably do. You don't just fire one of the best coaches, in franchise history who's won 70% of his games. I know a lot of people are on the text line. He doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't. Yeah, okay. 3 out of the 5 years he was here, they had the best record in the NBA.
Yeah, but as I said yesterday on social media, you don't get trophies for winning the regular season.
You got to win postseason.
For the 262 on the Old National Bank Talk and Text line, you can join us as well, 855-616-1620. Bud failed the Bucks. Yeah, he won one championship, but he missed the opportunity to create a dynasty. Sorry he lost his job, but the Bucks will be better off. I hope so. I'm an optimistic fan, even though I have high standards, and anybody who listens to the show know this. Your job is to win championships. Vince Lombardi knew it. There's not a lot of Vince Lombardis. Bill Belichick knew it, and you could argue that Andy Reid's starting to figure that out as well. And that's just, my take. But I think there is an expectation from fans, a lot of hard-earned money being paid for tickets. And let's be honest, if you want to watch the Bucks or almost any pro sport now, you have to ante up for the cost of getting a service that provides that for you. Let's go to the phone lines quickly before the break. Rome joins us from Milwaukee. Hey, Rome.
Hey, thank you. Hey, I'm a good friend of a friend. Nick Nurse is a good friend of mine, and I'm going to tell you the bottom line is Damian Lillard will come here along with Nick Nurse. Giroux is going to retire, and Chris Middleton will be dealt out. That's the bottom line.
Man, you got all the answers.
There's the answers right there.
Yeah.
I would sign up for that.
As a former coach, I've known Nick Nurse ever since he was a player at Iowa when I was doing Iowa basketball for Tom Davis and Dr. Tom, as well as George Raveling.
Tell me about Nick Nurse. What kind of coach is he?
Oh, he's a fiery guy, man. He's going to get the job done. The players love him. He's a player's coach. He don't take no crap. He's a coach just the way he was as a player. As a player at Iowa, he was that hard-nosed, fiery guy that got the team fired up. He played great defense. And, the thing about Nick is he's a self-made man. He started off right out of college. He went overseas and came back, and he's coached at every single level, and he's been successful. He won national championships at the junior college level in Iowa, and then he went on to several other stints where he turned programs around. So I think you're going to, if we get Nick, it'll be a good pick. And they wouldn't have gotten rid of Coach Bud if they didn't have someone like him, ready to go.
I'm gonna start to have to call Rome my NBA correspondent.
Our insider.
NBA insider.
I have a lot of inside scoops on the college and the pro game because I have 19 years of college basketball coaching.
I love it. We got your number, Rome. We might just call you. Thanks for taking the time to call. Sorry to cut you off there. Interesting. I mean, Nick Nurse got it done against the Bucks.
I think any Bucks fan would sign up for that if you're talking about Damian Lillard.
Yeah. How come he's not working, though, right now?
Yeah, that was a weird team, though, in Toronto. They had, like, a weird team. They had a bunch of, like, forwards.
You know why that is?
It wasn't constructed well. They almost made the playoffs, though. They almost
because Drake's their biggest supporter.
That's yeah. You're right about that.
All right, we got phone lines ringing. You can join the conversation 855-616-1620 from the 262 before we go to break. Be careful what you wish for. They will regret firing Coach Bud. We'll find out because another season's only 5 months ahead. Quick break.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. You claim to be giant. But then how come the number in your win column is so small?
Hey, Frank. Looks like it's a little cold out there, huh?
It's the Brewers and the Giants out in San Francisco.
Throw to the plate, on the fly, tag applied. Tyrone Taylor did it again.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 8:40. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
I was in the pool!
As a mother of 3, I feel so blessed that our children go to Catholic schools. With so much anxiety and confusion in our world, it's refreshing to see Catholic schools alive with faith, joy, and engaging learning. I trust Catholic schools because they partner with us parents, and we know what they're teaching our kids is in line with our values. Every day starts with prayer, and they attend Mass together. I'm convinced that the focus on faith is helping to prepare my kids for life. It's shaping their character and their way of looking at the world. When they face difficult times, they'll be prepared with the conviction to do what's right. I can't imagine our lives without Catholic schools. We're part of a family, a community, and our kids are getting a great education. I encourage your family to join us at a Catholic school. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes.
Catholic schools. Be a part of something greater. Learn more and find a Catholic school near you at archmill.org/greater.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially when it comes to gardening. Right now, get unbeatable deals on supplies to support your backyard bounty. Like 16-pound containers of Preen Weed Preventer, $3 off. Shop our selection of live flowers and plants in our outdoor garden center, now open at most locations. And get great gifts for Mother's Day, like new spring styles of women's Carhartt. Plus, this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., come test drive select riding mowers and lawn tractors during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Ride and Drive event.
You know you should be saving your hard-earned money in a safe place, but there's a difference between just letting it sit there and watching it grow. With Town Bank's great new rates on savings accounts, you can start earning more than ever before. Make the switch today and get more interest and their award-winning customer service. But act fast, these great new rates won't be here for long. Learn how much your money can grow at townbank.us. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Big news last night. Coach Bud fired after 5 seasons. Head coach, NBA championship winning coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. I wish him well. He's from all accounts, a great guy, and he did what he asked for. He brought a championship trophy back to Milwaukee. Let's go to the phone lines. Patty calling from my favorite city of Oak Creek. Hi, Patty.
Hi, good morning, Steve. Listen, big Bucks fan here. I said on talk radio post game that they would have to be getting rid of Bud. Bud's a great guy, stellar guy. He brought a championship here that we didn't have in 50 years. But I think we're going to be restructuring the team, and my thought right now, take it or leave it, is I don't think we're going to pay Middleton. I think Middleton is going to go. I think we're going to get a good three shooter, so number 3, and we're going to bring another backup person in for Giannis. And I have a gut feeling that Lopez is also going to go.
I hope not on Lopez. I like Lopez.
So do I, Steve. But I think that Denver, is possibly looking at. I don't know if the big guy's going to stay in Denver. Just to let you. I mean, not Denver. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. And
what big guy are you talking about?
Dallas.
Oh,
Dallas, the Mavericks.
Yeah, got it. That would be an interesting story.
Well, I know. I think they're going to free up a lot of money, and to that gentleman's point, I think we're going to get Raptors ex-coach, and I really think we're going to have a building building team, and I'm very staying positive. I mean, we got to look forward. We can't look back.
All right,
Thank you very much.
we got
Have
you
a
on
great
record.
weekend.
Yeah, you too, Patty. We got you on record there. Let's squeeze Tom in, Union Grove. Hey, Tom.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
wife and I are so devastated.
Really?
I look at it this way. A new coach is not going to help Giannis get up to 70% on free throws. He's not going to have our guys not throw the ball away to other players. Turnovers and missed free throws cost us games. That's just my opinion.
Love it. Thanks for the listen for you and your wife, Tom, as well, Union Grove. Look, whatever they do, this team is changing. We're going to have different players, certainly. And like Patty said, and I think Rome said it as well, I don't see Chris Middleton as being part of the mix. They're not going to pay him the money that he wants, if that's indeed what he ends up getting paid. And whether someone else would pay him, that may ultimately play a role in whether he stays here or not. Brooke Lopez, to me, is one of the key players we need to hang on to. Drew Holiday, loved his play, but, I mean, he's also talking about retiring. This is going to be a different team. Younger's not bad. You bring in the right coach, whether it's Nick Nurse or somebody else, this is the moment when a really good basketball team, and I measure their success in the regular season as putting them in that category, even though they didn't get it done in the playoffs, this may be that moment where you take that next step again. So let's be optimistic. Quickly on the text line before we get to the news here, be careful what you wish for. They will regret firing coach. Coaches can only do so much. Ultimately, players have to play the game, not the coaches. He won a championship. 262 is Ty Lue from the Clippers was reported on Fox Sports 2 days ago. He's upset with players getting hurt in L.A. We shall see. They will have different players next year, guaranteed. All right, we need 2 callers for Virtual Baseball, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. 2 callers, 855-616-1620. Here's what's up for grabs. WTMJ prize package. Who knows what's in it? Somebody told me there was a weekend with Bill Stead on a kayak trip or something like that.
Is that right?
I never heard that one before. They've thrown in crazy stuff.
That sounds priceless to me.
It does. I would do that. Would we have separate kayaks, or it's like a 2-person kayak? How would that?
I'll do either.
I don't know how that would work. 855-616-1620. I'm not guaranteeing that, folks. But also, in addition, thanks to the folks at Siding Unlimited, get this, a chance to be in the drawing for May. We do, I think, 4 drawings to win a $500 gift card, thanks to the folks at Siding Unlimited. So that's up for grabs. Call now. Virtual Baseball, that's coming up after the news. It's 10:30. You just heard his lovely voice. Eric Bilstead.
Steve, the World Health Organization says COVID-19 no longer represents a global health emergency. The agency's emergency committee met, now recommending that the UN agency declare an end to the public health emergency of international concern. There are still 1,000 COVID deaths per week. A 15-year-old boy is in custody, accused of taking a gun to Bradford High School in Kenosha earlier this week. Now, no threats were made. Police are asking parents to remind their children that if they see or hear something, to always report it. And a big night in Pewaukee tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers players Derek and TJ Watt will have their Pewaukee High School football numbers retired tonight during a ceremony. Takes place at 6 p.m. Public is invited. Brother J.J. Watt, of course, who also went to Pewaukee High, his number is already retired. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Jobs report came out today, and things looking good right now on Wall Street. The Dow is up 436 to 33,564. The Nasdaq is up 215 to 12,182. The S&P is up 61 to 41.23. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. From the Johnson & Sons Paving Traffic Center, 94 eastbound. Highway 16 through the zoo and into the city right now is clear all the way in. That's a 17-minute ride. 4145 southbound Highway Q to the zoo. That's on time right now at 15. 43 southbound Brown Deer Road into the downtown area. No problem. That's 12 minutes. 43 north, there was an issue near North Avenue. That's since been cleared, so no issues there. And 94 northbound from Layton into the city will take you 7 minutes. That's full freeway speed in. The WTMJ 5-day forecast for the day today. Slight chance for rain, mainly to the north, otherwise just partly cloudy. We are seeing some rain in the Sheboygan area rolling through. High of 74 inland today. Tonight, slight chance for showers, mostly cloudy, a low of 50. Saturday, some rain in the morning, otherwise cloudy, and a high of 68. Sunday, a chance for storms, cloudy, a high of 76. Monday, same thing, storms likely, cloudy, a high of 76. Tuesday, chance for morning showers. then becoming sunny on Tuesday with a high of 70. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 63 degrees. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 1033.
You receive a diagnosis from a doctor. You do some reading about it. Talk with your loved ones about it. You feel good about proceeding. Well, pretty good, that is. There's that one thing nagging at you. It's probably nothing, right? Or is it? A good reason to get a second opinion. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network not only offers but encourages second opinions on cancer, cardiovascular, orthopedic, spine, or neurological next steps. Second opinions often happen virtually and give you peace of mind about all that is humanly possible at an academic health network like ours, including innovative treatment options and clinical trials. Big decisions deserve a second opinion. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're here to help you feel good about your decision. Learn more or request an appointment at froedtert.com/second opinion.
You know, most mulch is reclaimed from landfills, but Erickson's mulch is ground from whole trees. Yep, we process the mulch ourselves to keep the prices nice and low, and use only premium colorant so the beautiful look of new mulch lasts. At Erickson's, we never skimp, and that's why first-time shoppers become repeat customers. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. How do we keep our prices so low? That's easy. We've removed the middlemen. Yep, most landscape suppliers have a couple of them in there, and that's okay. But each one of those men in the middle means a higher cost for your mulch, decorative stone, flagstone, and boulders. Feel free to check around. For the quality of our products, you won't find better prices. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
The grass is cut, the hot dogs are hot, and the beer is ice cold.
Right and deep. Oh, baby, get up!
It's time for virtual baseball on the Steve Scaffidi Show. Brought to you by Siding Unlimited.
All right, let's do it on this Friday edition of Virtual Baseball, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Thanks to the great folks there. All right, let's meet our players this week. On the home squad, Mike calling from one of my favorite cities, Cudahy, Wisconsin. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Have we ever met in real life?
We have, actually.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, we met at one of the businesses in Oak Creek when you were mayor.
Was I nice to you? Was I pleasant?
You were amazing.
Let's cue that up. We'll play that for a promo. All right, Mike, tell us about Mike from Cudahy in 30 seconds or less. What should we know?
I'm retired with my beautiful wife, Denise. I used to run a trucking company in Oak Creek, and I've been retired for 3 years and living the life.
All right. Now I remember who I'm talking to. So congratulations on being one of the players. Let's meet our other contestant. Marlene calls us from the beautiful city of Appleton. Hi, Marlene.
Good morning.
So tell us about Marlene. What would we like to know about someone who calls themselves Marlene, lives in Appleton? What should we know about you?
Well, I am a retiree, just like Mike, from AT&T. And I certainly enjoy watching the Brewers or listening to them on WTMJ.
Oh, another great promo opportunity. You said the right things, Marlene. All right, Mike and Marlene, Battle of the M's, Virtual Baseball. Producer Brandon's going to run through the ground rules, and then we're going to get started.
All right, we got two players. Today we have Mike as our home team from Cudahy and Marlene from Appleton as our away team. Each of you will get a separate set of 10 highlights. Each set does include an equal number of hits and an equal number of outs. They are numbered 1 through 10, so each of you get a number 1 through 10. You get 5 selections. After those 5 swings, we only record the hit in the highlight, not the runs scored in the highlight. After those swings, the number of runs are tallied up, and that becomes your final score. So far, we have had ties 3 weeks. If there is a tie, the home team, in this case, this will be Mike, you will try to walk it off between a set of 2 highlights.
All right, so we have Marlene up first, 10 choices. What is your first selection, Marlene?
My first number is 5.
Number 5, we have Bryce Terrain.
2-0, the pitch. Swing a line drive down the right field line, a base hit. Tellez scores. Caratini making his way to third. He'll be held as Terrain comes up with an RBI double. And the Brewers have tied the game.
All right. Good start. Base runner. Thank you, Jeff Levering. All right. Selection number 2 for Marlene.
Number 8.
Number 8, we have Brian Anderson.
2-2, nobody out. Mitchell on deck, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He's slowed up on the curveball. Anderson
all right, went
after it. Second strikeout for Max Scherzer.
All right, Marlene, you got to get some runners across the board. You got a runner on second. What's next?
Number 7.
Number 7 is Joey Weimer.
The 1-1. Swing and a bouncer, left side. Guillorme has it and throws out Weimer to end the inning.
Marlene, bat's getting cold, but we still have time. You got 2 at-bats. I'm guessing there's some big hits.
Getting the outs out of the way. That's her strategy.
That's her strategy. So, Marlene, you're going to do a lot late. Let's see. Pick number 4.
On pick number 3.
Number 3. Number 3 is Rowdy Tellez.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch and pitch. Ground ball, right side. Alonso's got it. Takes it to the bag and takes out his first base counterpart.
Marlene's lucky we don't stop you after 3 outs. But Marlene, you need a home run here because right now you have no runs across. So unfortunately, you got 3 outs in a row, and which I think are all. Is that all the outs?
There's like one more.
One more. So don't get the out. So Marlene, what's your 5th and final choice?
10.
Number 10.
Number 10 is Owen Miller.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball on the left side. Up with it is the third baseman, Urshela. Urshela to second, on to first in time.
We have never, Marlene.
5-4-3 double play started up by.
Those are all random. I feel bad because we've never had anyone get no runs.
Started off really well.
She did. She had a double. Marlene, consolation prize. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see what Mike can do. Mike, it gets really easy for you because all you have to do is play to run. So what's your first choice?
I'll pick number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Tyrone Taylor.
The 1-1. This is pulled into left. Coming in and underneath the glove of Fraley. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Taylor moving around second. He's headed for third. Here's the throw. It's going to be late.
All right.
Fraley made the mistake.
Triple to start it off.
Yeah, Mike's got a runner on third, 4 more at-bats. Mike, what's your second choice?
Lucky number 7.
Number 7 is Rowdy Tellez.
Johnson looks in, sets up on the first base side of the rubber. Here's the pitch. And Tellez, a line drive, snagged out of the air.
How shocking would it be if neither one of these players got 0? All right, Mike, still work to do. 2 at-bats down, 3 left. You got to get run across the plate to win this. Otherwise, we go to extra baseball. What's your third choice?
Number 8.
Number 8 is Luke Voigt.
Flexen looks back at second and the pitch. And Voigt rips this one into left. That is a base hit. It rolls all the way into the corner before Kelnick can get to it. Tellez is around third. Stopping at third is Anderson.
All right, Mike, that's all you needed. 1 run across the board. It was a tight one. 1 run for Mike. Marlene, 0. Marlene, thanks for playing virtual baseball, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Happy retirement. Do we lose Marlene? She's still there?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a great time in your retirement. Mike, stay on the line. Not only did you win a WTMJ prize package, who knows what's in that? Always surprises me. People kayaking with Eric Bilstead.
Autograph pictures.
Book reading with producer Charlie. Who knows what the prize could be? No, we're going to give you a chance also to win a $500 gift card thanks to Siding Unlimited in one of our May drawing, one of our 4. I think there's 4. Is there 4 Fridays in May? I'll have to look it up. Mike, thanks for playing virtual baseball.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. Stay cool in Cudahy. All right. Take us to break, producer Brandon.
And the wave making its way by us again. Right in front. Excuse me a second. Okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You hit your head on the ceiling, you. I got up too quick. The spring in this chair has got to be readjusted.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ. When the summer heat arrives, there's nothing better than walking into a nice, properly cooled home. And if that system's working right, there's not a lot of things that can be more refreshing. But when your AC's on the fritz, it's worse than the pits. And that's when you call the man in the red van. This is Anthony Zaneski with Quality Heating. We have one of the largest HVAC fleets in Wisconsin. And that means fast emergency service for you 24/7, 365.
Quality heating, quality heating.
I've been fixing AC systems almost my whole life. So when it comes to which system I would put in my own home and which of those I wouldn't, I have a pretty good eye. And that's why I want our folks at Quality Heating talking about Armstrong Air Pro Series AC systems, which have a 2-stage scroll compressor that runs longer, gentler cooling cycles at low capacity during mild weather, and switches to full capacity on hotter days. That's efficiency, and it all adds up. So see the man in the red van.
Quality heating, quality heating.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Ready to downsize and move from your longtime home? Call Bruce's team today. Their senior real estate specialist will guide you every step of the way. Go from overwhelmed to I can do this. 262-242-6177. Bruce'sTeam.com.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
You are a guaranteed winner with Siding Unlimited, Wisconsin's best contractor for your home's beauty and defense. Siding Unlimited is siding, of course, but so much more. Windows, roofing, decks. Siding Unlimited is recognized as the MVP in all those areas by customers and suppliers alike. You want major league work done on your house, so start by contacting Siding Unlimited. SidingUnlimited.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Shout out to my buddy Dave, who's visiting from Buffalo, New York, in town. Hope you're having fun. Thanks for listening. I love it when people that don't live here listen, because it's always great to hear their perspective on the show. And he was chatting about virtual baseball. Consolation prize. I don't think we've ever had a zero. I really have to think about that, because we've done it for a few years. I don't know if we ever had just.
And I promise, for everybody out there, there are even amount of outs and hits.
Yes. And it just, I don't know. We seem to be in this run scoring funk.
It is it is weird. Well, the Brewers are in a funk too, so maybe it's just
maybe the virtual baseball is matching the real baseball. Anyway, so I often say this on the show, and thanks for joining us, by the way. I appreciate everybody tuning in. However you find us over the Air Online podcast, all appreciate our podcast. Numbers are just going through the roof. So thanks to people who find the show. Even when I'm not doing the show, you go find the interviews and the features, like coming up at 11:08. If Steve wrote I thought I wanted to make it fun because we're going on vacation for a while. I'll be back next Friday. So I thought I'll do a fun one on golf. Lots of thoughts on golf, and we'll mix in all the great clips that you've come to love as part of our weekly tongue-in-cheek, snarky look at not just things I want to talk about, but news of the week mixed in, politics, and all of that. But this next topic came from a listener. I don't have a ton of time on it, but I think it's important to talk about, because it really generates the storylines that, unfortunately, we have to discuss on News Talk Radio and water cooler conversation, if you still have a water cooler. And if you think about recent stories when it comes to violence in this country, individual, upstate New York, senior kills a 20-year-old woman who accidentally pulled into his driveway. Kansas City, 84-year-old man fires 2 bullets into a 16-year-old boy because he knocked on his door by mistake. South Florida, 43-year-old shoots a 19-year-old delivery driver and his 18-year-old girlfriend. Their crime, they went to the wrong address. And in a countless barrage of stories like that, there was the young women who got into the wrong car. I think it was in Texas. Got back into the right car. Individual comes over, shoots into the car. Violence erupts. So the question that the emailer sent me, and you can always email me on the show, always welcome, Steve.Scaffidi, 2S1D at WTMJ.com. What's creating the fear? What is it? And the violence, the cocktail of violence, right? Now, we've talked about it. We have a lot of guns in this country. The Second Amendment's not going anywhere. That's not going to change. 400 million plus guns. That's a reality we have to face. We have seen the erosion of red flag laws that I think, if implemented properly, can limit the ability of the bad guys with guns to carry out some of these events. We also have a sort of a misinterpretation of what stand your ground or the castle doctrine means when it comes to protecting yourself. And then there's this piece, and I mentioned it briefly, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about the role of media in all of this. And not your general media, but the talking heads who almost on a daily basis raise the temperature in the room. Now, it's not surprising that I'm going to say what I'm going to say, because if you listen to the show, I believe in civil, honest discourse. Doesn't mean I don't get passionate about things. I do. And I will have strong takes when required. But the difference, I think, is strong, smart takes, not takes to satisfy some element of the audience that wants to hear something versus needs to hear it. So we've lived in this environment now for probably 3 or 4 decades. Passionate voices, getting paid a lot of money, not just radio, TV as well, who are tasked, it seems, with raising the temperature in the room, inspiring, in some ways, people's passion and anger in the wrong ways. Throw in a mix of video games, some whose sole mission is to blow people up, lack of faith in our communities, which, let's be honest, offered a moral compass to people to stay on the right path, to do the right thing, as I like to say. And I'm not afraid to call people out. And we saw the classic example on a major network where the number one guy lost his job because he spouted nonsense, because his audience wanted to hear that nonsense. I make a connection between squawking heads, TV or radio, raising the temperature. It's even infected campaign ads. Never seen as much fight back, take back messaging, aggressive, militaristic, highly partisan messaging as be part of that message that is pushed out every day. My question is simple, and I got to go to break, but we will entertain calls or texts after the break. I would argue that part of the responsibility is the people that do what I do, who raise that temperature every day. Not an attempt to get to the truth, not an attempt to reassure the community. And as a former elected, one of the best lessons I ever got after a mass shooting was your job is to calm and reassure the community. That message came from the late Steve Hogan, who was the mayor in Aurora, Colorado, after the theater shooting. He called me the same night of our shooting and said, I know you're going through a lot. Here's what I would tell you to do. Calm and reassure your community. I'll never forget that call, and I'll never forget that message. And I think we've lost our place when it comes to people's responsibility in the media. So I will point the finger back. There is a responsibility to provide factual information, not party talking points. What do you think? 855-616-1620. Got a little time before the top. Then, of course, if Steve ruled the world after the top of the hour news break, join us in the conversation after this on WTMJ.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Hi, it's Brian Noonan from WTMJ Nights. I've got some big news. Starting now, you can download WTMJ Nights wherever you get your podcasts. That's right, you can enjoy our nighttime fun anytime you want. Find WTMJ Nights on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Local news, national stories, random silliness. You'll get a bit of everything on WTMJ Nights. So join me, Brian Noonan, weeknights from 6 to 9 here on WTMJ, the WTMJ mobile app, or wherever you get your podcasts. WTMJ Nights. Listen whenever and wherever you want.
What's wrong?
I've got a problem.
Want to sit and talk about it?
Okay. Ooh, this sofa's nice.
Yes, I know. So tell me.
I can't believe how comfortable it is.
It's pretty sweet, isn't it? Okay, but let's get back to...
Is this the Benjamin sofa from Penny Mustard?
It sure is.
I love the classic look.
The Benjamin is timeless, and it fits with almost any decor. Yes, okay, but let's discuss this problem. I don't see any problem with the Benjamin sofa.
Solid hardwood frame.
Ultra high-density foam cushions.
Hundreds of fabric and leather options.
Okay, enough about the Benjamin sofa.
Whoa!
Why are you so testy? Sorry. I guess I'm dealing with my own problems.
Want to sit and talk about it?
Okay. Ooh, this sofa is nice. The Benjamin sofa, the ultimate in sophisticrafted quality, durability, and elegance, starting at $25.19 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com. Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. There are over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Bridgelawns.
AccuNet Mortgages and Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Differentiation Officer Brian Wickert reminding home shoppers that working with AccuNet is different and better than working with your bank. Most bank pre-approvals state they've only verified the potential home buyer's credit, but not their income or money for down payment. To us, that's just crazy. AccuNet's rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval tells the seller we've checked out all three aspects of your financial health, and that we'll pay $2,000 if our pre-approval is faulty. Banks don't do that, but they do have a lot of overhead with all their vice presidents and fancy branches. We keep overhead low, which means lower rates and closing costs that are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks. Most importantly, our loan consultants can show you and your agent how to improve your financing and appraisal contingencies so your offer has the best chance of winning in a multiple offer situation. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Click on the blue button today for your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station. Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show.
From the Old National Bank talk and text line, Steve, I agree that talking heads shows on both radio and cable fake news channels have been a slow-growing cancer to our country since the 90s. It has done nothing but cause anger and division. I said this away from the show yesterday in a conversation with a friend of mine. There's like this whole business of making people angry and agitated and fired up. It's like, why? Any good doctor or nurse will tell you that stress will kill you. And you walk around with that anger and that divisiveness and that hyperpartisanship that passes for political knowledge, and you're not going to be a healthy person, and it drives just so much nonsense. And I have to think there's a causation. Walking around with that mindset, that anger-driven mindset, easy access to guns by the wrong people who aren't responsible with their firearms. Not surprising, we're seeing more and more of these everyday events where someone makes a casual mistake, ends up losing their life. We'll bring in Mike real quick. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, brother. An absolutely beautiful day today.
Absolutely. What do you think?
I think I'm calling regarding the mayor of the Aurora town who called you.
Steve Hogan.
I think what you said is yes. That is, keeping your constituents safe. That's probably your biggest responsibility. and keeping them calm is part of keeping them safe. And kudos to that guy for calling you. That was obviously a great thing to do. And leadership is not easy, as you know, and that's something that you got to do to be a leader.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Mike. Have a great weekend. Look, none of this is easy anymore. And, I had a guest on yesterday, professor from San Diego State University, Gene Twangy, who has written books on this. And I saw her on CNN over the weekend, and I said, we have to get her on. So we talked to her about the rise of anxiety and depression among youngsters. And I didn't mention social media before, but that's a part of this as well. And that plays into this anger and violence because anybody who's been on social media has seen it firsthand. Somebody was taking a shot at me on Twitter today. It's like, how does that pacify you? Or does it really just make you more angry? Politics, people say, why do you go after politicians? Politics is important. I understand. I was an elected official. But we've made this such a mess of this, where all the nonsense gets all the attention, all the real work, which is done mostly by local politicians, local leaders, never gets the attention it deserves. And the current president of the United States, when he was vice president, told me this in a one-on-one conversation one time. And I never voted for the guy, but I thought it was words of wisdom. The work gets done in this country at the local level. Always has, always will. All this other drummed up nonsense that you like to spend time with, not helpful. And in the case of our conversation for the last 15 minutes, just might be dangerous. All right, after the break, we're going to have some fun. Fun in the 11 o'clock hour. News is next on WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Smooth waters and clear horizons are ahead. The experienced team of advisors at Fox World Travel are ready to uncover your cruising style. Are you sailing off into a Caribbean sunset, taking in the European charm along riverways? Maybe an exotic expedition or Alaskan cruise are on your bucket list. We'll help you cruise like never before with Royal Caribbean, Holland America, Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, and more. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call a Fox Cruise expert at 866-GO-FOX-GO.
Before you buy an annuity, or worse yet, a variable life insurance policy, give us a chance to tell you both sides of the story.
Financial strategies, but what's the way to build your wealth?
Go to financialstrategiesinc.com.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
As Tyrone Taylor moves over towards the line to make the catch, tagging from third base is Grichuk, throw home strong on a hop, tag applied, out at the plate.
The Brewers are at the Bay against the Giants, with coverage starting tonight at 8:40. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning, 11:01. We have 66 degrees. Slight chance for showers today, mainly north, otherwise partly cloudy. High of about 67 lakeside, 74 inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. COVID-19 no longer a global health emergency. The declaration comes from the World Health Organization today, but ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel
Just
says...
because we're listening to these declarations doesn't mean we still should drop our guard and not be vigilant.
The public health emergency has been in place more than 3 years. The pandemic killed more than 6.9 million people and disrupted the global economy. The pandemic-era policy known as Title 42 that called for immediate expulsion of asylum seekers expires next week. ABC's Maria Varela is in Brownsville, Texas, at a migrant camp.
Thousands of migrants in Matamoros. They're living in makeshift tents. They are cooking on open pits. With porta potties and piles of trash feet away. It is primitive, it is dirty, and it is inhumane, and yet people are willing to endure this for a chance to seek asylum in the United States.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is scheduled to visit the southern border today in anticipation of next week's rollback of Title 42 restrictions. A Dane County judge hearing oral arguments Thursday at a challenge to the state's abortion law.
Attorney General Josh Call bringing the challenge, saying,
the laws passed subsequent to Roe v. Wade are fundamentally in conflict with the 1849 ban.
Those conflicts are the center of the challenge, with Call's team saying there's no clear way to enforce any abortion law in Wisconsin. Judge Diane Schlipper raising questions about what the ban applies to.
To me, the Supreme Court has said this almost exact language prescribes feticide. It is not about consensual abortion.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Governor Evers says he'll veto the Republican plan for shared revenue unless some changes are made to the bill. It aims to revamp how the state funds local governments. Evers says the bill doesn't give enough of a funding boost to local governments and has too many restrictions on how cities and counties could use the state aid. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos plans to meet with reporters in about an hour to discuss. For the second time this year, unemployment in the U.S. at the lowest rate since 1969. The Labor Department reports unemployment dropped to 3.4%, matching January's numbers. Agency also reported an addition of 253,000 non-farm jobs. A holiday with Mexican origin but celebrated more in the United States. Today is Cinco de Mayo.
The victory of Batalla de Puebla, the battle in Puebla of 1862 that was fought against the French Empire.
That's the historical context of today's holiday, Cinco de Mayo, from UW professor Marla Ramirez. And while you're out celebrating with family and friends, she reminds you to be respectful and responsible.
I hope people don't dress in brown face or dress with Mexican zarapes or sombreros, Mexican traditional attires, in a derogatory way.
Tony Cartagena, WTMJ News.
The Greater Milwaukee Police Memorial is today. A procession will lead from the War Memorial to the Wisconsin Center. Starts at about 45 minutes. Meanwhile, an American hero will be laid to rest this Saturday after missing for almost 70 years.
Lieutenant Roy Harms of Grafton was a B-24 bomber pilot in World War II. In 1943, he was shot down over Romania. Alan Buchholz is with the Ozaukee County Historical Society.
Witnesses saw his rear stabilizer shattered, a round coming through the front of the plane. A horrific fire.
He was buried by Romanians but was never identified until last year. Now Lieutenant Harms is coming home.
It's just the right thing to do.
The public's invited to honor Lieutenant Harms by standing on North Street in Grafton on Saturday at 11 a.m. John Merkier, WTMJ News.
News sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk, heard Saturdays at 10 right here on WTMJ. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:05.
This report is sponsored by the Froedtert Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network.
You receive a diagnosis from a doctor. You do some reading about it. Talk with your loved ones about it. You feel good about proceeding. Well, pretty good, that is. There's that one thing nagging at you. It's probably nothing, right? Or is it? A good reason to get a second opinion. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network not only offers but encourages second opinions on cancer, cardiovascular, orthopedic, spine, or neurological next steps. Second opinions often happen virtually and give you peace of mind about all that is humanly possible at an academic health network like ours, including innovative treatment options and clinical trials. Big decisions deserve a second opinion. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're here to help you feel good about your decision. Learn more or request an appointment at froedtert.com/second opinion.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritware is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
Time for a WTMJ Sports
Make
Update.
it 4 losses in a row for Milwaukee as Charlie Blackmon had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. And the Colorado Rockies used a 5-run 8th inning to earn a 9-6 come-from-behind victory against the Brewers on Thursday afternoon. Milwaukee now heads to San Francisco for a weekend series with the Giants beginning tonight. That first pitch is set for 9:15. Corbin Burns is slated to get the start. The Milwaukee Bucks have fired head coach Mike Budenholzer following the team's early playoff exit this season against the Miami Heat. Coach Bud led Milwaukee to its first championship in 50 years while winning nearly 70% of their games during his 5-year tenure. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Bucks are in no rush and looking to take their time in hiring his replacement.
I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. A reminder, the Greater Milwaukee Police Memorial is today. The procession will lead from the War Memorial to the Wisconsin Center. That happens at about 45 minutes, 11:45. Otherwise, typical drive times, 94 inbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo, about a 10-minute drive. The Zoo to downtown running about 5. 43 inbound from Brown Deer Road to downtown 10. And 94 inbound from Layton Avenue to the Marquette Interchange, running about 6 minutes this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Your WPMJ 5-day forecast. Slight chance for showers today, mainly north, otherwise partly cloudy. Highs ranging from 67 lakeside to 74 inland. Slight chance for rain tonight, low 50. Slight chance for morning showers tomorrow. High 62 lakeside, 68 inland. Chance for storms on Sunday, 70 lakeside, 76 inland for the high. And showers and storms likely on Monday. Those highs still 70 to 76. Tuesday, a chance for morning showers. Highs ranging from 65 to 70. Right now in Madison, we are at 66 degrees. Milwaukee is 66 as well. Green Bay 51. I'm Connie Weber. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 11:09.
Breaking down the biggest stories, talking about what really matters, and bringing you the biggest forum to let your voice be heard. Now, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. Here's Steve Scaffidi.
Welcome, everybody. Friday show. Off on my vacation to Washington, D.C. Kind of a working vacation. I'm going to interview a couple Congress people. You've heard their voices on the show. And also the historian from Mount Vernon, which I'll visit on Monday, I think. And the director, executive director. I'll bring those interviews back. We'll play them on the show probably next Friday because I'll be back for Friday's show, of course, to hang out with Bill McCoshen and Joseph Pecky as we did this morning. If you get a chance, listen to the podcast. The two gentlemen were brilliant this morning on a lot of topics, so it was one of my best ones, their best ones. So every Friday, 11 o'clock hour, almost every Friday, we might not do it next Friday because I have all those special interviews I want to bring to you, but we have some fun. We do some tongue-in-cheek stuff. And today I thought, since it's the start of golf season, I'm actually going to miss the start of my golf season, which is next Thursday, as I'll be traveling back from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. So I thought, why not, Steve, do, if Steve ruled the world, a special golf edition? Here it is. It's Steve ruled the world. All right, let's get started. An easy one to start with. I know some of you are novice golfers. Maybe you haven't golfed in a while. Or you're just one of those kinds of people who run on their own standard time, i.e. always late for everything. Golf does not work that way, people. You have a 1 o'clock tee time. You show up at least 15 minutes before that, probably a half hour to be safe. And you got to be ready on the tee by 1 o'clock if you got a 1 o'clock tee time. Nobody cares if you're always late. And when did that become the new normal? It's not about you. Golf is regimented. There's rules. Get to the course early. Be ready for your tee time. By all means, keep up with the group in front of you. Etiquettes, golf etiquettes matters. Think of it like this. If you show up for work late, you will more than likely get reprimanded or fired. My guess is that you'll learn pretty quickly why timeliness matters.
Yes, sir. Are we clear?
If Steve ruled the world.
Thank you, Tom and Jack. And it should go without saying, but let's talk about golf carts. If I had my way, and this is called a Steve Ruled the World, if you have any outstanding warrants, traffic tickets, especially for speeding, or a documented history of car accidents, you don't get a cart. Sorry, that's simple. Consider it exercise. You can't handle a car on the highway. You can't be trusted with a golf cart on a golf course. Is that too tough? I don't know. You have a problem with somebody telling you there are consequences to your behavior? Well, boo frickin' who? Listen to Jack.
You can't handle the truth.
If Steve ruled the world.
We are Jack heavy today. All right, golf is an individual sport for the most part, and we're all trying to work on our swings, be better golfers, play by the rules, be good sports. But nothing will rile up a golfer more than another golfer trying to offer golf tips on the course. No. Unless you're a PGA professional or I ask for some guidance, let's keep the golf advice to yourself. I don't care that you shot 80 at Whistling Straits once. Shut your pie hole. I'm golfing here. People are getting beat up on Water Street for looking the wrong way at somebody. You think your putting tips will be received any better than that? There's only one thing you need to worry about when you're golfing. What club you're going to hit with your next shot.
Lighten up, Francis.
If Steve ruled the world.
Was that for me? I felt like that was for me. Was that directed at me? I think so. Anyway, this happens a lot, especially on some of the more popular county golf courses. I know you think it's great to bring your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner or whatever it is, since I'm all about gender equality, out on a Saturday morning to teach them how to play golf. But the rest of us would like to keep our round down to about 4.5 hours. Take them to the driving range. That's a perfect place for your date. It's generally accepted you can be as bad as you want there. And pro tip, it's also a lot cheaper than a round of golf. I do appreciate the thought, though. I'm a sensitive guy. I might be a romantic, but golf and courtship do not mix. Keep the love connections to the corner bar, your dating apps. You will find out pretty quickly on a golf course that even good friends get a little testy when they hit their drive out of bounds. Last thing you need is your potential love match telling you how to hit your driver. Fore and foreplay are not the same thing. It's not the Love Boat people.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. And love.
If Steve ruled the world.
That is a catchy tune. I'm going to play that as a show open at some point. I love that. That was a great show, too. All right, if you're a regular on the links, you'll recognize this next type of golfer. Course is busy. A couple of foursomes stacked up on the tee, and the group waits until the group ahead of them is nearly on the green of a 400-yard hole, which is generally not reachable for the layman out there. Now, I know people like to say, I might get a hold of one here, or I'm a big hitter, but unless you're Brooks Koepka or Dustin Johnson, live golfers, once the group clears a reasonable distance, let's say 300 yards, it's pretty much okay to tee off. Trust me on that one. You're not as good as you think you are, and realizing that makes you a much smarter person. Have a little self-awareness, and on those rare occasions when you actually do get a hold of one and hit it into a group, then you can actually yell for as loud as you want. If luck is on your side, hopefully you won't kill anybody.
Promise I will not kill you until you reach the top.
That's very comforting, but I'm afraid you'll just have to wait.
I hate waiting. I could give you my word as a Spaniard.
No good. I've known too many Spaniards.
Is there any way you'll trust me?
Nothing comes to mind.
If Steve ruled the world.
How many people out there recognize the Princess Bride clip that I just played? First time ever on a Steve Ruled the World for all you record keepers. This one falls into the etiquette category. When you're on a golf course, this is probably more than golf course, restaurant, turn your smartphone off, turn the ringer off. I know you think you're the most important person in the world. You're not. And you just have to take this call. But unless you're on call, like a doctor, first responder, you are not that important, trust me. Distracted golfers are bad golfers, and it's rude. As I said, it applies to restaurants, movie theaters, church, especially church. And while I'm at it, no clever ringtones, no loud speakerphone conversations in grocery stores, none of it. You want to talk to your coworker, girlfriend, brother, fill in the blank, do it on your own damn time and not on a golf course. You know golf courses are usually in the country. And for me, country means the one, the only, the late John Denver. Enjoy.
When the work's all done and the sunset low, pull out the fiddle and the rosin up the bow. Kids are asleep, so I keep a catalog, and thank God I'm a country boy. I'd play Sally Gooden all day if I could, but the Lord and my wife wouldn't take it very good. So I fiddle when I can, work when I should, and thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Woo-hoo!
If Steve ruled the world.
Another raise your hand if you were dancing in your car seat just then when we played some John Denver. You can do it. It's okay. Just keep your hands on 10 and 2. All right, here's another thing that'll drive regular golfers nuts. When you're lining up your shot, it's never, ever okay to take more than a couple practice swings. If you spend 5 minutes standing over your ball, then another minute or two taking practice swings, we're all waiting for you, buddy. Especially irritating when after all this you hit the ball 10 feet. Don't be that guy. Don't be that golfer. Line it up, take a quick practice swing, hit the ball. In the long run, you'll be a much better golfer if you do this, and other golfers will show complete and utter respect for you, at least until they hear you say something about vaccines, COVID, politics. Doing that just makes you sound like the guys in that very popular, I'm cracking myself up, Ned Beatty, Burt Reynolds film. You know it was coming at some point. Here you go.
If Steve ruled the world.
There was a chance I was going to give that to Tony Evers today, so he's probably the happiest guy in the world, but I gave it to the bad golfers. All right, no one likes excuses, trust me. No one likes excuses. When you miss a putt, shake an iron shot, duff a tee shot, just own it. Don't complain somebody was talking or a bee landed on your face or you didn't get enough sleep last night. Suck it up, walk it up, play the next shot. And frankly, stop making excuses in general. It's a bad look. Kind of like this, saying elections were stolen because your guy didn't win. Chances are your guy lost the election for a variety of reasons, most of them having nothing to do with having less votes. Unlike golf, having less votes isn't the goal.
We're bringing back consumer choice in home appliances so that you can buy washers and dryers, shower heads and faucets. So shower heads, you take a shower, the water doesn't come out. You want to wash your hands, the water doesn't come out. So what do? You just stand there longer or you take a shower longer? Because my hair, I don't know about you, but it has to be perfect. Perfect.
If Steve ruled the world.
Is it perfect, though? All right. I totally stole this one from golf.com, but please don't spend... Here's another one of those waiting games. Don't spend 10 minutes lining up your putt from 10 different angles. I don't want to wait for you as you walk all over the green, cross the other players' putting lines, and pretend you know what you're looking at. You're not good enough to understand the nuances of a green like a pro golfer. Chances are you could be farther away from the hole than after you started hitting that putt anyway. Again, less is more. Line it up, give it a good tap, move on. Again, just like politics, accept the results and live to fight another day.
There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf.
All right, let's go. You like that, old man? You want a piece of me?
I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing.
If Steve ruled the world.
Man, Bob Barker laying it on Billy Madison there. Woo! All right, last but not least, I know a lot of you are saying, oh my God, get it over with. But no, here we go. Last but not least, go ahead and hate on like the Bryson DeChambeaus of the world if you want, but I like the guy. He's a bit odd, got the weird hat, swing looks like something crazy out of a YouTube video. I get all that. But sports is still about performance. He's somehow managed to take physics and physiology in the game of golf and come up with a very unique approach to the game, and wins doing it on occasion. If we can appreciate old people who run for political office, surely there is room for somebody a little different on the PGA Tour or the Live Golf Tour. And he wears cool hats. You got to give it up to him for that. Hit them straight, count them all, have fun doing it. But most importantly, remember this about the wonderful game of golf. Even on your worst day, it sure beats the hell out of work, and that is this week's
If Steve Ruled the World.
Take us to break, Brandon.
I'm a hard-working man. I wear a steel hard hat. I can ride rope, a hammer and paint, do things with my hands that most men can't. I can't get ahead no matter how hard I try. I'm getting really good at barely getting by. Got everything I own by the sweat of my brow. From my four-wheel drive to my cowboy boots, I owe it all to my blue-collar roots. Feel like I'm working overtime on a runaway train. I got to bust loose from this ball and chain. I'm a hard-working man. I got it all on the line for a piece of the promised land.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Everything you need to know on your way home.
A large manhunt underway in Georgia after a man opened fire inside of a medical building in downtown Atlanta.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure.
And let's be real, these polls are stupid.
Sandy Max.
16 was like the age where you went and got a job. Unless you were like 12 or 13, you got a paper route.
And Greg Matzik.
Would Thanasis Antetokounmpo be on the Bucks roster if his brother wasn't? Would he even be in the NBA? The answer to both questions is no.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on WTMJ.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What keeps you up at night?
My box spring. It supports my mattress, prevents sagging, and gives my bed a little elevation.
You're a literal guy, aren't you?
Well, through Monday at Hasselus Mattress, you can literally get a free box spring with the purchase of a new Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress, or take an equal amount off a new adjustable base.
Great. That's going to keep me up at night.
Open 9 to 9. Find a showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Greg Matzik for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Hey, summer is near, and the Memorial Day sale at Holiday is here. Prime time to say yes to enticing offers on Wisconsin favorites from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Or explore the exceptional value and peace of mind of a GM-certified pre-owned model. Make Holiday your destination to get more vehicle for your buck, more for your trade, and enjoy award-winning guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. And I'm one of those fans, and know from my own personal experience, you'll be in excellent hands with Team Holiday on your side. Proud and grateful to be recognized as Buick Dealer of the Year per 2022 Buick Zone sales records. With selection expanding daily, you can choose one that's in stock today or reserve one that's on the way. Find yours and discover the difference during the Memorial Day sale at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
No matter the hour.
We are following a developing and breaking story out of Waukesha.
No matter the day.
Russia continues its invasion of Ukraine as President Biden announces sanctions.
The news doesn't stop.
An abortion ban now in place in Wisconsin.
And neither do we.
Over 1,000 years is how long Darrell Brooks Jr. will spend behind bars.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
National Weather Service calling it a once-in-a-generation event.
News Radio 620.
WTMJ.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit.
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit. Sit.
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Lane's Farm and Fleet is your one-stop shop for all your seasonal supplies, like 60-pound bags of Saccrete high-strength concrete mix, 3 bags, just $9.99. Strengthen your yard while you kill weeds with Gordon's Liquid Weed and Feed, 2.5 gallons, just $56.99. Freshen up your home with the new mailbox from Solar Group, now 20% off. And pick up a number 14 aluminum grain scoop with 29-inch wood handle from Seymour, on sale $35.99.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
In Wisconsin, our festivals and events are in full swing all summer long. Here's to seeing legendary golfers at the U.S. Senior Open Championship in Stevens Point, to joining thousands of your closest music-loving friends at Summerfest in Milwaukee, and to wondering, where art thou, Romeo, at the Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival premiere this summer in Eau Claire. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Find more summer events at travelwisconsin.com.
Now, more of the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Thanks for all the texts on If Steve Ruled the World. Special golf edition. Had some fun with that. Golf season for me starts in a couple weeks. The league starts next week, and I'm sad that I'm going to miss the first week, but I will be in Washington, D.C. I will be back next Friday and bringing some fun interviews back. Well, fun, I guess, depends on your perspective. Conversations with some congressmen and learn a little bit about Mount Vernon, the incredible home and site of the estate of George Washington, our first president. And if you've never been, it's one of the best places on the planet. After the break, for news, we'll get to Connie Weber here in a second, we are going to play one of our honorees for Salute to Service from last year, Brian Peterson. It was actually our submission for the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards for Community Service. This year, we'll find out about that this weekend. Hopefully good news, but it's such an incredible story. But I'm also going to ask you for your help because I need nominations. First responders can be police officers, firefighters, EMTs, dispatchers, volunteers, full-time, part-time. Anybody who has stepped above and beyond. Could be a frontline medical provider, somebody in an emergency room. Anybody that's touched your life in a meaningful way or changed your life in a positive way. That's the stories I want to tell. It's a great chance to tell those stories because, let's be honest, some of those folks are not necessarily front of mind for all of us in our communities. So that's what this is about, thanks to Educators Credit Union, certainly the Packing House by the airport on Layton Avenue there, all great partners of this year's Salute to Service. So we'll take a break for news. It is 11:30 from our Breaking News Center, Connie Weber.
Thanks, Steve. Former Governor Scott Walker urging Donald Trump not to skip the first GOP presidential debate in Milwaukee in August. He tells the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel Trump should not blow off Wisconsin, says Hillary Clinton did that in 2016 and it cost her the election. New York Times says Trump is likely to skip at least one of the first two debates. Walker, by the way, leads Young America's Foundation, which is partnering with Fox News in the Milwaukee debate. The owner of Russia's Wagner military contractor threatening to withdraw his troops next week from the protracted battle for the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. He is accusing Moscow's military command of starving his forces of ammunition, says they were undersupplied and suffering heavy losses and would hand over operations to Russia's regular army. Some call the choking death of a man at the hands of another New York subway rider a criminal act. Others justify the killing as defense against dangerous disorder. Manhattan prosecutors promised a rigorous investigation into whether to bring charges into the death of the black man who was tackled by fellow passengers and put in a fatal chokehold by a white Marine veteran. Milwaukee Bucks announced Thursday, they fired coach Mike Budenholzer. Coach Bud spent 5 seasons with the Bucks. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are up. The Dow is up 397 points. The S&P 500 up 57. The NASDAQ Composite is up 204. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. 94 inbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo, still about a 10-minute drive. The Zoo to downtown about 5. 41 northbound from the Zoo to Highway Q about 14. 43 inbound from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette Interchange take you about 10 minutes. And 94 inbound from Layton Avenue to downtown running about 6 this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
Slight chance for showers, mainly north, otherwise partly cloudy today. We're going to have variable temperatures, it looks like, for the next 5 days. High today, 67 lakeside, 74 inland. Slight chance of showers tonight with a low 50. Chance for morning showers tomorrow, highs ranging from 62 to 68. Sunday, that chance for rains continues with a high 70 lakeside, 70 inland. And Monday and Tuesday, showers and storms likely Monday, high 70, lakeside, 76 inland. Tuesday, morning showers, then becoming sunny with highs ranging from 65 to 70. Appleton right now 54 degrees. Milwaukee we have 67. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time 11:33.
On a hot summer day when I walk through that door, I want to feel that cold air because we both know that is a great feeling. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. There's going to be a day when that AC of yours just isn't cranking like it used to. And that's when you want someone there fast, fixing it right the first time, because they've been doing it a long time. 20 service techs with over 20 years of experience. When you're in an AC emergency, see the man in the red van.
Quality heating, quality heating.
The true variable speed capacity compressor on the Armstrong Air Pro Series is for the AC fanatic. Rather than running at 1 or even 2 speeds, this compressor changes its speed in small, precise increments and adjusts cooling up and down like a dimmer switch, so temperatures are held exactly where you want them, even in extremely hot weather. If you're an AC fanatic, this is the unit you want.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Brian D. Summer. It is right around the corner. You know what that means. Graduations, weddings, all of the fun events that come along with the sunshine. Make sure you have your best smile on display when you're out and about. And for all the photos you're going to be taking, go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Whether it's a regular routine cleaning, a simple exam, a more complex procedure, a teeth whitening, Dr. Michaels and the team at Oconomowoc Dental Care are the best. They're going to make you as comfortable as possible while you're in the chair and give both you and your family an amazing smile. How do I know? He's my dentist. He takes care of me just like he's going to take great care of you. At Oconomowoc Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream. It is the reality. Dr. Michaels' fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care.
This is the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Hopefully you're happy on this Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. TGIF for those Monday through Friday workers. So I mentioned before the news break with Connie Weber there that we are in the nomination process for my month-long Salute to Service presented by Educators Credit Union and the Packing House Restaurants on Layton Avenue, right across from the airport, north boundary of the airport. And I wanted to bring it back. I'm going to do this a couple times a week leading up to the unveiling of this year's honorees, playing some of the sort of greatest hits. And this is one of our greatest because this is our submission for the Wisconsin Broadcasters Awards this weekend. And it's the story of Brian Peterson. So I will let producer Brandon roll that, and then I'll give you how you can help us. I'll give you the details on how you help us nominate some of these individuals, just like Greendale firefighter and paramedic Brian Peterson.
There's a car going westbound pushing freight cars on red. On escape, black male. I couldn't stop it. He's going westbound, blowing his horn.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstead on News Radio WTMJ. We are following a developing and breaking story out of Waukesha this evening at a holiday parade. We are still getting our arms around what exactly happened this evening. A driver driving at high speeds rolled through the holiday parade that was taking place in Waukesha. It takes place every year around this time. We are told there are mass casualties from this event that took place.
My name is Brian Peterson. I'm a lieutenant paramedic with Greendale Fire Department. Betty was laying on the ground. She was unconscious and was not breathing. Jumped down and basically went back to EMT basic school and opened her airway with what's called a jaw thrust maneuver. Simply just moved her tongue and her jaw out of the way while holding her C-spine intact, and Betty started breathing.
My name is Betty Strang, and I was one of the Milwaukee dancing grannies in the Waukesha parade. I'm going to say it just happened, but part of it is I do not remember anything. I am fortunate to not remember any of it. So if I heard it coming, I don't remember it.
You see so much over a year, and it's just a lot. You don't remember. She's my number one. I will never forget that sweet lady rest of my life. I probably got 5 calls that I really remember. They're just burnt that you try to file away. She's number one. She always will be. It was just everything that happened, and just the scope of it, like I said, was just it was just so overwhelming. It's I'll never forget her, and she's such a sweetheart.
The first thing I remember is just we gather before the parade, and we had a couple of grannies marching in their first parades. And then as we started, we do our songs, and we're always told to smile at the crowd. And I just kept thinking, I don't have to try to smile at the crowd. The crowd was so enthusiastic and cheerful. They're clapping. I was happy and just happy to be there.
When her husband had my wife and I over to the house, and it was probably 4 or 5, 6 weeks after the attack, and man, I wasn't able to sleep till I met her. And after I went home that night, it was the best night of sleep I had.
And this is where I'm going to cry, Brian. I am so thankful, and I hope I expressed that when we met you last December. I'm so thankful, and honestly, words cannot express the immense gratitude I have. And while we will never forget you, you are permanently a part of our Christmas, because I was given an EMT angel ornament to hang on my Christmas tree. So thank you.
When you think of salute to service or service in general, what comes to mind?
Well, it's just giving back to the community. It's just what all of us do. All firefighters, all police officers, nurses, doctors, everything, the hospital staff. It's been so much more, on the forefront now with, COVID over the last 2 years, and what we've gone through is, from the medical side of things. It's just to help people, help your neighbors, and it's just never expected this. We just kind of do our work and go on our business, go on our way, and this is I appreciate it, but it's humbling. It's humbling for sure.
That was one of our 5 honorees salute to service last year. It still gets you after hearing the words of both Betty Strang and Brian Peterson, the Greendale firefighter. And those are the stories we want to tell. I mean, that goes from the tragedy of the parade to grieving, recovery. And when we brought them together in studio as part of honoring Brian, the emotion was there again. And it is one of the incredible moments of being allowed to do this on WTMJ. And I want to tell 5 news stories this year. Here's where I need your help. Go to WTMJ.com, click on the Salute to Service banner. I just did it. It's easy to find. It'll take you to the nomination forms. I just need a few things. Name, departments, a couple paragraphs on why the nomination is coming from you, a few details. We'll do the rest. We'll contact, we'll interview, and we'll present 5 honorees the final week of May. It's a really tight schedule, so I need those nominations right now. We will start scheduling interviews. We will record those, put those pieces together, and I have to give a tip of the hat to producer Brandon Snide, who put all of that together brilliantly. And as I said, that's nominated for a WBA award, which I would share with him if we were lucky enough to win on Saturday. That's just one of many stories. I think I've told 25 over the 5 years of Salute to Service, and we have 5 new ones to bring to you this year. But I need those nominations. WTMJ.com, Salute to Service banner. Thanks to Educators Credit Union. Thanks to the Packing House Restaurant. We are able to tell those stories right here in WTMJ. So send me those nominations. If you have a question about the process, just send me an email at steve.scaffidi2fs1d@wtmj.com, and I can walk you through it real easy. Name, department, couple paragraphs on why you're making the nomination. Can't wait to tell those stories last week of May right here in WTMJ.
You're listening to the Steve Scaffidi Show on WTMJ.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Planning that summer vacation list? Road trip, hiking and kayaking, beer and festivals. Accomplish it all by visiting Beloit this summer. The city of Beloit features a memorable foodie scene, seasonal outdoor experiences, vibrant entertainment, culturally unique arts, and much more. On July 15th, Beloit hosts the Lager Than Life Beer Festival. Golf, hit the trails, or float down the river on a tube. Check out Wisconsin's second largest farmers market. Enjoy decadent local dining in downtown Beloit. Plan your next weekend getaway today. Visit Beloit.com.
Ready to downsize and move from your longtime home? Call Bruce's team today. Their senior real estate specialist will guide you every step of the way. Go from overwhelmed to I can do this. 262-242-6177. Bruce'sTeam.com.
So if you're already in a relationship with an auto service center, that's great. We hope things keep firing on all cylinders.
But if you're not in a relationship, why not book your next date with us at Richlands the next time you're due for service?
All of our locations are AAA approved and staffed by ASC certified technicians with PhDs in
We can fix anything!
Put that on top of the friendliest, hardest working staff you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center,
and you've got yourself a rock-solid date.
the next time you're due for factory scheduled maintenance
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service.
Book your date at richlands.com.
Or just Google us. But remember, Richlands is spelled with 2 N's.
And oh yeah, be safe, buckle up, and hey,
Always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Courtney Matchkey with Richlands, and you're due for a date.
clever.
Richlands Tire and Service. Such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Hey, all of you jokesters, this is Max, and we're back with another joke of the week. What do lawyers wear to the courtroom? Lawsuits. Ha ha! I cracked myself up. Back to Steve Scaffidi Show.
Thank you, Young Max. Regular feature on the program. And as I said earlier, breaking news, Max will join us at the fair. Best of the fair, according to Young Max. Every day we'll have a little food highlight, or I know he likes the big slide. We'll probably talk about that a couple times. And then he'll join us live at the fair if he can, make it out of his busy sports schedule and all the other things he's up to. One of our regular Friday features, we do this every week, is the Week in Review. This week is no difference. Gun violence from local freeways to downtown Atlanta, the countdown to a new monarch, Coach Bud shown the door, and more. It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
May 1st is International Workers' Day.
By providing in-state tuition equity for underdocumented, undocumented, and DACA students, we can give them the opportunity to pursue their dreams, their sueños.
New information on a police shooting in Greenfield.
10 4 shots fired.
Show us your hands! Show us your hands!
The driver fighting Greenfield officers who tried to arrest him, saying he had a gun and threatening to shoot them before injuring one officer and fleeing on foot.
Multiple people hurt after a reckless driver slammed into a parked school bus in Milwaukee.
For somebody to not really care and to recklessly drive and hit another school bus and kids, that's just harmful.
Milwaukee Police Department said a 15-year-old girl and a 14-year-old girl were arrested in connection to the incident.
This is the Wisconsin's Afternoon News Coronation Countdown.
Adam von Gutken is the co-founder and CEO of Highclere Castle Gin.
It's incredibly celebratory. London is absolutely stunning right now. The Union Jack is floating over the street.
And now, another inside look at the planning committee for the King's coronation.
Would it be entirely out of order to have His Majesty dance the gritty?
I show you out of order. We honor and respect Gordon Lightfoot, 84 years old.
You can call me a survivor of the folk era if you like. I wish there were many of us.
The placards are up.
Writers got to get their pay!
But the writers' pencils are down. And the late shows?
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us.
I'm your host, Stephen Colbert.
Welcome, everybody.
Reruns only.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a man was shot and killed on the Fond du Lac Freeway this morning.
There has got to be a better way to solve whatever problem you may have with someone else without pulling a weapon.
They're now advising the active shooter, person shot.
Police in Atlanta searching for a gunman in the city's downtown after authorities say he started shooting at a medical facility earlier today.
The former U.S. service member, who police believe was the active shooter, is in custody this morning.
We live in a state and in a nation where people have easy and wide access to firearms that are used to kill fellow Americans.
Russia blaming the U.S. for the alleged drone attack on the Kremlin, claiming without any evidence it was an attempt to kill Vladimir Putin.
Governor Tony Evers throwing a wrench into Assembly Republicans' plans.
I can't support the Republican plan as is, and frankly, I'll veto it in its entirety.
If Tony Evers thinks he has any leverage in forcing the Republicans to change this bill, he's smoking some of that weed that he wants to have.
Block the wind. I'm going to roast this bone.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it is breaking news this afternoon. The Milwaukee Bucks confirming that they have parted ways, their words, parted ways with longtime coach Mike Budenholzer.
When you lose in the first round, you can't just run it back.